All right, we're back. It's Damien, Consciousness in Motion. Who do we have here today?
Hello, my name is Larry Lee. I am the founder and practitioner at Action Compassion. Action Compassion right now is just operating out of my home, but in 2018 it will be a fully fledged healing center focused on bringing spiritual practices to the clinical level, focused on treating addictions, trauma, abuse, depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses in a different way, in a new way. I call it bottom-up mental health, meaning that the student is the teacher, the client is the master, and the modality, the therapy, it comes second. The client comes first, and it's not about doing things right or a certain way, it's about doing things well. And I'm also the author of a book called Meditation Swerve. It's a zany meditation companion book written for the modern mind, and you can download that for free at my website.
I have some too, by the way, so if you guys want some, you can contact me. I will get some to you. I'm an official distributor now.
Absolutely. This is true. This is true. Damien came through and I just suddenly had this ding in my head. It's like, you should give him a few copies of your book. Because I could feel his stout benevolence.
And darn it, did he ever. So, you know, I've been to your website. I looked around. I've talked to a few people, and I get amazing reviews. Tell us a little bit more about what's different. What do you do that is, you know, in layman's terms, you know, like fundamentally, if somebody came to see you, what would they experience, and how would that be different from some other type of therapy?
I was recently at a psychiatric conference in Victoria, and all these people were saying, at the end of the day, after all the academia and debate and innovation, when it comes to therapy and healing, they concluded it was all about presence and the presence of the heart. So if you're asking what's special about me, it's really nothing. Because what I do, anyone can do. The presence that is taught in meditation, the unified field that is revealed through Tantra and science, the empty space, the spaciousness of consciousness that's explained by all spiritual traditions around the world, we can all do it. And that's what I do. When someone comes to see me, I put my own personality in the background. My ego goes into the back seat, as my friend Autumn would say. And that is the result of 10 years of dedicated meditation practice. And that practice came to me through serendipity. I owe everything to my 3 gurus. 2 in the East, 1 here in Canada.
Awesome. Who are they?
My 3 gurus are Dr. Dennis Tang, heart surgeon and proprietor of a holistic cancer clinic in Taiwan. He saved my life for free and taught me meditation for free. My second guru is, I call him Master Chen. His Chinese name is Chen Shizong. He is a well-renowned artist in Taiwan and a bit of a medicine man, if you will. And his background is Taoist, Nepalese, and Tantric Buddhism. And he pulled me out of my psychosis when I was 24. At that time, I had already been meditating for 3 years after meeting Dr. Tang. But because I'm a bit of an idiot, I did practices and went to places that caused me harm. and he literally saved me as well. And then finally, my third guru is Gendron Margaret Lambert, French-Canadian woman who used to be a teacher, but then at age 30 to 35, she had nonstop cluster headaches and migraines. Nonstop, and she wanted to end her life. And I've wanted to end my life before as well. And luckily, Gendron Margaret Lambert met her guru at age 33, I believe, Dr. Vasant Lad of the Ayurvedic Institute in the States. And he was able to teach Ayurveda to her in a way that she could heal herself from her migraines, which she tried to heal with no avail. And that's why she went into Ayurveda, and she is my Ayurveda guru.
Wow. What's that saying that this whole idea of being able to fly and soar on the shoulders of the ones that came before? It's so true, isn't it?
Absolutely. I am entirely made of flaws stitched together by good intentions. And it truly is thanks to my teachers and all the people that have taught me along the way as well. Truly, we stand on the shoulders of giants. Well said, Damien.
No, it's I get that from you right now.
Oh Lord, Lord have mercy.
So, I would really like to get a sense. Well, you've kind of given us a bit of an idea, but let's go back to your early days. I know that many of us get to where we are because of challenges and things that break through the paradigms that we live with. Go back to a time where you can say what such and such was that hard lesson or what have you that made you shift.
Should I go all in, Damien?
Well, I
think I should.
Absolutely.
I'll start from the very beginning then. And I've never shared with this on video, but I'm feeling very called to do so. I feel since I was born, I have been hardwired to reject the bullshit and the inequality of this world. I was born into a violent and angry and sexist family. I spent my early months watching my dad abuse my mother and trying to get in between them. And my first experience with mantra was picking up something I heard somewhere. And when they were fighting, I decided to get into the middle of them and start chanting mantra at age 5. And at about this time was my first major trauma. I was sent to a Catholic kindergarten in Taiwan because my family felt I needed more discipline. So I went to this school, and it was all fine and dandy, but my first major memory was sitting in a circle having some sort of spiritual discussion, and they were talking about how vengeful God was, and how anyone who didn't hear the name of Jesus Christ would be sent to eternal damnation in hell. And I was born a shaman. I was born seeing spirits, hearing things that other people would say are crazy. So I mostly kept it to myself. I never felt like I should share it. In fact, only recently have I come out of the shamanic closet. But back to 5 years old, they were telling me all these things about this vengeful, wrathful God. And I stood up and I yelled back, this little 5-year-old chubby Asian kid. I yelled back and I said, "There is no way that is true. There is no way the universe is like that." And the memory is fuzzy, but I know I rebelled over and over again. And I guess at some point, maybe I struck a nerve or something. 2 of them took me in the back and repeatedly sexually abused me. And I kept that all to myself. I didn't tell my family. And I soon left that kindergarten in a few months, and I came to Canada. I didn't tell my family because it didn't feel safe to. Like I said, my family was violent and racist and sexist. We're not allowed to cry, not allowed to express emotion. But then a few months later, we came to Canada. We were afraid of China attacking or taking over Taiwan or something like that. And we just came right to Canada. And my childhood took a big turn there. I grew up mostly with my mom. My dad stayed back home. So in a sense, there was already a new paradigm being nurtured as soon as we came to Canada, with the mom now sort of being the main voice in my life, because the patriarchy was forced to go back to Taiwan once in a while to handle business and what have you. And that was my first major experience that shaped who I was. But I kept all of that inside. And I really started to change at age 20. My teenage years I spent angsty and angry and just sort of inappropriately outspoken. At age 20, I had a sudden onset of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And at this point, I thought mental illness was a weakness. I thought people should be able to just turn it off. And of course, my mouth got me in trouble again. I started having non-stop anxiety that I simply could not turn off. I knew it was irrational, but I couldn't turn it off. I was obsessed with developing schizophrenia, and obsessed with being a homeless person and, not fitting into society, not belonging. That was my obsession. My compulsion was to research mental health the whole day. I would be on my computer the whole day, reading journals, articles, participating in forums, just to ease my own pain, to convince myself I wasn't a crazy person. I stopped going to school for a year. I stopped everything. This was my life. I was a shell of my former self. And that was also my first experience with meditation, because I tried everything. I tried hypnotherapy, acupuncture. I was prescribed antipsychotics. I was prescribed SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, common psychotropic drugs. And nothing really worked. Or I should say, nothing gave me the freedom I really craved until I found meditation, which was taught to me briefly by a psychiatrist in New York named Dr. J. Brodsky. And he instructed me to embrace the anxiety, to welcome it, to see it as part of my own. And what he really was teaching me was meditation on difficult emotions, you could say. And that was my first foray. And that really changed me as well.